Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, depending on where you are watching from. You are welcome to this program. While you are joining, share this video, invite others to join. We have to have a very quick one. We are going to be touching on these things that are in front of our screen. So if you are joining, kindly share the video, invite others to join. Wherever you are watching from, are you watching from YouTube? Are you watching from Facebook? Are you watching from Twitter? Share this video, invite others to join. Don't forget to subscribe to that YouTube so that you will continue to get this gospel direct to your notification each time you come online. If you are watching on Facebook, don't forget to follow us on that Facebook. Share the video and alert others to join. Just like you have seen this poster in front of you, today we are going to be talking about the United Nations Declaration. The United Nations Declaration, and we are also going to be talking about the R.O.R.I.S.T statement, media statement about what's happening in Aso-Rock, or what he complained that is happening in Aso-Rock. And we are also going to be talking about the massive protest. Okay, we are coming out clear. The massive protest that is taking place in Britain as we speak. The massive strike that is taking place in Britain as we speak. We are going to be reflecting on that. Share the video, invite others to join. We are not going to take much of your time. Of course, Facebook is actually fighting us tirelessly, and we are going to be doing this program with a very, very little audience. So wherever you are watching from, share the video. If you share it manually, maybe we will gather more audience, because they have tightened on us. They have tightened on us that our message will not go far. That is the plan of Facebook, and that is the plan of Google. But we are also on Twitter. If you're watching there, retweet the video for the algorithm, to do the rest of it. So let me actually remove this from the screen first. Then what you have on your screen here is the United Nations Declaration. The declaration. So this, we are going to be treating it very soon. Now, great and wonderful people of Biafra, of course, my name, it is flashing on the screen, so the introduction has been made. So let us proceed. Just like you may all know, we are also going to be talking about the terrorist index that, reflected Ipob, which is from IED, Institute of whatever, peace, or whatever peace. Yeah, something like that. So we are going to be reflecting on that. Let me see if let me set time so that whatever we are doing, we will finish here in the next 1 hour 30 minutes. Okay, let me give it a benefit of doubt and give it 2 hours. We are going to be finished. It is, what? Let us see the time also. All right. Now, it is 4 minutes before the top of the hour. Regardless of where you are watching from, we are live and we are direct in Biafra land, It is 3 minutes before the 1 o'clock. 3 minutes before 1 o'clock in Biafra land. It depend on where you are watching from. The minutes remain the same. It is the 3 minutes before the top of the hour. So we are live and direct. It is time to preach the gospel for emancipation, the gospel for freedom, the gospel for decolonization, the gospel for the restoration of Biafra, where there is a zero latitude and zero longitude, because it is the land of Elohim, where everything is made available, but the enemy will continue to thwart and scuttle whatever we can do to activate our greatness. But that greatness is what we are actually doing all we can to make sure it is activated in order to help the mankind to thrive in Africa. So just like Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will always say, he says that Biafra will attract the likes of the people from the Caribbean. The Biafra struggle or Biafra restoration will attract the likes of the people from, South America. It will attract the likes of the people all over the world to go and see what is going on in Biafra land. So if you are watching on YouTube, like that video, subscribe to that YouTube channel. If you are watching on Facebook, continue to do the sharing. I can see some of our great comrades. They are already here. The comment section warriors, you are welcome. Now let us tell the world what we have for them today. First of all, we are going to the Declaration of Human Rights, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Let me open it and we are going to read it. I am going to make it broader, to make it a little bit bigger so that we will be able to see it, to read it. Then we will understand exactly what we are, doing, and exactly what you can see. It's a Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We're not going to go through the preamble. We are just going to go to the most important part of it. We are going to read the first article of this Declaration of Human Rights. The reason why we are actually going to do this, it is because those who are actually reflecting IPOB's name in Iep Terrorist Index, I want to read the Universal Declaration, which is actually, they are the ones who introduced it and they are the signatory to it as well, so that they will know that they are in violation of their declaration. Because it is very, very important that we remind these people that we are not illiterate. Just because we are Africans does not mean that we are illiterate or we are not aware of what we are doing, or just because they see us, being killed by Nigeria and we are not doing anything to safeguard ourselves or to secure our people from being killed, and because of one sabotage they have implemented to another, does not mean that we are stupid. It only means that we are actually very patient, so that when we attack, when we fight back, we will fight back with everything we have. We do not launch the first attack. All we do is that we actually observe, we assess before we attack. That is IPOB, that is Biafrans. We don't fight a fight that we are going to lose. We don't engage in a fight that we are going to be blamed. That is the reason why we will continue to actually do the campaign, which is the needful, until we come to restore the dignity of mankind. So let me open it broader on my side, because I might not see it clearly from this screen. Otherwise, let us try to see if I would be able to read it from the screen here. Okay. That will be better if I read it. Oh, what's going on? Just one moment. Let me open it from my side also. While you are seeing it on the screen, I'll be able to see it clearly while reading it. It is now disappearing. Okay, that's by the way. Let me just try to read it from the screen. However, we can see it. So in this, it says, I will start from Article 1 straight. I will start from Article 1 because the preamble is what you saw there. Article 1 says, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and right. They are endowed with reasons and conscience and should act towards one another in spirit of brotherhood. That is their declaration, Article 1. Article 2 says, everyone is entitled to all the right and freedom set forth in this declaration without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or societal or social origin, property, birth, or other status. Furthermore, no distinction, what's this? No distinction shall be made on the basis of the political jurisdiction or international status of the country or territory to which a person belongs, whether it be dependent, trust, non-self-governing, or under any other limitation of sovereignty. Now let us read. I want to actually read it further so that you will actually, when we comes to what I am actually looking for, we will analyze it. Everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the security of person. This is one of it. If you look at the Article 1 in the Universal Declaration, it says everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the security of person. Now, in this regard, you will understand the reason why there is no Jupiter that will actually change it, that the activities of the Eastern Security Network to protect our bushes, to protect our people, life and their livelihood, to protect people that is going to the farm, it is actually right to life. If you have a right to life, it means that you will do anything and everything to protect yourself from anything that is going to harm your life, from anything that is going to take your life. That is the United Nations Human Rights Declaration. So in this regard, when IPOB was protesting with a flag and they were killed like animals, if IPOB was in possession of any firearm or ammunition of any sort, they're supposed to repel, they're supposed to fight back because they have a right to life. They have a right to life. They have a right to liberty. They have a right to security. So when regardless of who is coming to kill you, regardless of whom is the perpetrator, it does not matter. The right to self-defense is a right that everybody ought to exercise. It is not, you don't need to be reminded that this is an act of self-defense. You don't need to be reminded that you are about to be killed. Therefore, you have to rise up to defend yourself. because it is declared and it is gazetted that you have a right to life. So anybody that has a right to life is, bound to defend himself in every means possible in order for him to live. That is what the Universal, Declaration on Human Rights Charter, Article 3. Now let us continue. We go to Article 4. No one shall be held in slavery or servitude. Slavery and the slave trade shall be prohibited in all their forms. Did you see that? In all their forms. They shall be prohibited in all their forms. Now, what are we to Nigeria? We are actually, like their slaves. We are their servitudes. If you look at what is going on, we are actually British servitude. Because when you look at it, it is our blood that is used to continue to protect and maintain the British oligarchy on Nigeria. It is the blood of Biafrans. It is the blood of our people. It is as a result of this systematic slavery. That is the reason why Catriona Lem will go wherever she goes, death follows. Wherever she goes, if there is any crisis, if there is any revolution, if there is any protest, if Catriona Lem have a meeting, death follows. Because we are their servitude. We are like their slaves. We cannot stand up to fight for our right. We cannot stand up to defend ourselves. We cannot stand up to do anything. But we are coming to this protest in Britain. Today's protest in Britain, and we will compare it to what has been happening in Nigeria under the watch of British envoy to Nigeria. Now let us continue. Number 5 article. It says, no one shall be subjected to torture or cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment. No one, under no circumstances. Did you hear that? No one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment. Under no circumstances. Because it never added any clause to say, unless if this person do this or do that. Because it is left for the court of law to determine the fate of this person, if this person is guilty or not. So if they are actually subjected into torture, inhuman treatment, degrading treatment, that means you have actually judged that person and you have actually laid verdict on that person without taking them to the court of competent jurisdiction. Now you ask yourself, IPOB has been killed, IPOB has been tortured, IPOB has been jailed without trial, IPOB has been servitude, IPOB, they have done all sort of things to us without actually presenting our case to the court of law. Now you will see Iep Gold is in the hands of the DSS for the sake of wearing the color that has Biafra flag on it. Everybody have a freedom to their, to wear whatever they want to wear. I have never seen anything or anywhere in this declaration or even in Nigeria constitution that said that a person must not wear something that has a Biafra color. So Iep Gold has been kidnapped for so long, placed in the DSS, space or whatever, prison or holding cell for the past almost a year now, if not more than a year. What was her crime? She was wearing a regalia that is painted with Biafra color. That was her crime. Let us continue. So, let me go to the Article 6. Okay, this Article 5 is saying, no one shall be subjected to torture or cruel, inhuman, degrading treatment or punishment. Now look at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Before I leave that one and go to the next one. Look at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being tortured, is being held in a solitary confinement unarbitrarily. Now you will ask yourself, United Nations and every other institution in the world have seen this, because we kept on tweeting, we kept on lamenting, we kept on sending these messages. They are all seeing them, yet they have not come to the party to say or to stand in their ground the same way that the all of the Europeans and the America everywhere are calling everybody to support Ukraine for the invasion of Russia. They have supported Ukraine. They have given Ukraine emotional support. They have given Ukraine physical support. They have given Ukraine military support. They have given Ukraine, every support. But how many of them have they given to us that are dying on a daily basis as a result of being servitude to the Nigeria British oligarchy? None of it. Now let's go to the next one. The only thing that Tony Blake sought to do is to call IPOB a terrorist, or to reflect IPOB in their terrorist index. But that's by the way, because whatever he is doing, he is playing games. I can assure you, I said he is playing games, because if indeed he did that, I can assure you that whatever he did, it is as a result of complicity. It's as a result of him having, a complex interest. He has interest, selfish interest, I may call it, when it comes to the judgment of, regards to IPOB and Biafra struggle. He need to recuse himself. If he is a judge that determines whether people are going to be placed on the watch list, whether people are going to be placed on the index, he need to recuse himself. Because if I may say, in my own opinion or in my own understanding, because I have never seen any IPOB done anything that warrant people to even, relate them close to terrorist or terrorism activities. Talk more of somebody waking up to say, we find our name in the terrorist index. It means that Tony Blake, if he's the one who actually make that call, he need to recuse himself. Because he is complicit, he is criminal, he is manipulative, he is a liar, he is a cheat. That's what I can say. Because when you take Tony Blake to court right now and ask him, what is your reason for reflecting IPOB in the World Terrorist Index? And he should present his statistics, he should present what he have on IPOB, then we challenge it in court. I don't think that he will have any of this piece on IPOB, because there is nothing. We have, we value discipline, and we've been actually standing because we are disciplined. We have never ever, initiated any plan that placed the life of anybody in every country that we are domiciled in danger. Facebook will start to remove you. Facebook will start to, bring it down, because we have spoken things that is the truth that concerns them. And I don't care. It is our people that is dying. It is our people that is dying. But the greatest thing, what surprises me is that, Mark Zuckerberg is, I believe it is his people that experienced the Holocaust in the hands of Adolf Hitler. Whatever he is doing, trying to make our voices not to be heard because we are the oppressed, it means that it is actually indirectly telling us that there is something behind Adolf Hitler that they have not told us. There is something behind what Adolf Hitler did that they have not told us. If his people felt, actually went through this Holocaust and they are seeing others going through the same fate, and he actually suppressed them from airing their view, opinion, and actually crying. You cannot beat a person and ask them not to cry. I have the right to cry. So, let us continue. We will see to it as we continue. So, Article 7. Okay. Article 6. Everyone has the right to recognition everywhere as a person before the law. You have the right, to recognition everywhere before the law. Okay. Article 7. All are equal before the law. All are equal before the law and are entitled without any discrimination to equal protection of the law. All are entitled to equal protection against any discrimination in violation of this, declaration and against any incitement to such discrimination. Now, it talks about everybody is equal before the law. Do they really mean what they are saying? If everybody is equal before the law, the last time I checked, the war in Ukraine just started last year. The killing of Biafrans started since 1967. But they claim everybody is equal before the law. Now, the war in Ukraine is being, the Ukraine has been receiving all sorts of support. People are being compelled or even threatened to support Ukraine. But our people has been killed. More than 3.5 million women and children of my people were killed in the Holocaust of 1967, courtesy of Nigeria, sponsored by Britain. It was my people, women and children, non-combatants. They were killed through hunger and starvation. Did anybody actually force anyone to come to our rescue? Was anybody held to account of war crime? The answer is no. Nobody is answering a case of war crime today. Britain is living their life with our blood. Britain is great because of resources coming out from our land, and we must be killed for that resources to continue to flow. Are we equal before the law? Are we equal before the law? When they talk about this discrimination, ever since the independence of 1960, we have been marginalized, we have been discriminated, we have, Fulani, they have done all sorts of evil against us. Of course, so many people might be saying that what we are saying is discriminative, or we are discriminating against Fulani, because when you don't know the full story, you will misunderstand the complainant, or you will misunderstand the victim. Some of you does not even want to know the full story, or you don't want to actually know the exact what happened, or going back to the history to understand the reason why we speak the way we are speaking. It is as a result of frustration. It is as a result of our people being killed. It is as a result of being exposed to traumatic events prior to the time we came to this world. We have been exposed to traumatic events. There is no viewer description. In Nigeria, in a crime scene, everything, everybody can see anything. Traumatic event in a situation whereby military will come and be shooting people in their communities, in front of children, even shooting children. We have been exposed to this traumatic event. Even what happened in Niger Delta, we have been exposed to these traumatic events. So, the aggression and the regret of waking up to see ourselves coming out as Nigerians, even though we were Biafrans, we were killed for the sake of Nigeria. That is the aggression. So let us continue. We are going to Article 8. Everyone has the right to an effective remedy by the competent national tribunal for acts violating. Okay, everyone has the right to an effective remedy by the competent national tribunals for acts violating the fundamental right granted him by the Constitution or by law. I will continue to go forward because I don't have time to actually explain all of them. No one shall be subjected to arbitrary arrest, detention, or exile. Have you seen this one? Article 9 is one of it. No one shall be subjected to arbitrarily arrest, detention, or exile. Of course, you can see what we are going through. What Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going through. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is subjected to arbitrarily arrest. Arbitrarily arrest simply means because of the opinion of Garba Shehu, because of the opinion of Malami, it is because of those. Now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is subjected to a solitary confinement, and his health is deteriorating. There is no, adequate, medication or medical intervention to his health condition. Now you will ask yourself, if Buhari or whoever that is in Aso Rock, which ever since they have given somebody a mask in Aso Rock, no medical treatment, they don't go medical treatment every day anymore. When Buhari was there, they go anything. If they have headache, they travel to London. The same thing, all these politicians, both the presidential aspirants today, they have occupied one position or the other in the last decades or in the last years. Whenever they become sick, you know what they do? They go to abroad to treat themselves. But now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have a deteriorating health condition, and he is still being held to arbitrarily, in a solitary confinement. He is subjected to arbitrarily arrest. He is subjected to arbitrarily detention. He is subjected to arbitrarily, everything that he is subjected to is as a result of people opinion, people interest, not because of the law, because the law has set him free. The law stated that he has no case to answer in Nigeria. So, if any institution in the world should watch and see the declaration, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and they look at this Article 8, that everyone has the right okay, that no one shall be subjected to arbitrary arrest, detention, or exiled. And they look at the activities of IPOB today, or Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and they decide that they will actually use terrorist index to scare us away. The answer is no, because it does not, it's not going to work on us. We are not illiterate. We are not illiterate. We know these laws that you people have put in place because of, or it is quite fortunate enough, or unfortunate will I say, that we have the opportunity to travel outside to experience how you people work in line with your laws. But when it comes to the law in Africa, in Nigeria to be precise, you people will, you people will turn a blind eye when the ordinary person is crying, and the cry is as a result of this, system that you people have put in place after colonialism. That is as a result of it we are. So we go to the Article 10. Article 10 in the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. We go to Article 10. Everyone is entitled in full equity to a fair and public hearing by an independent and impartial tribunal in the determination of his rights and obligations and of any criminal charges against him. Have you seen it? That same tribunal was where Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was declared innocent. Yet, unarbitrarily, they continued to held him, in a solitary confinement, while torturing him, while poisoning him for him to die slowly. So if we look at it, are we the aggressor? I am asking Tony Blakes. I am asking Catriona Lang. Is IPOB the aggressor, or is Nigeria the aggressor? Who is the aggressor? Everyone has the right to life. According to the declaration, everyone has the right to life. So, let us continue. So let us continue. Sorry for that interruption. I was, of course, I am in the office. Interruption will be coming in, and So now we are just trying to, open up. So I believe I have this time to do this program while at it. So let us go to Article 11. Article 11. Everyone charged with a penal offense has the right to presume innocent until proved guilty according to the law in a public trial at which he has had all the guarantees necessary for his defense. He has had all the guarantees necessary for his defense. They went to Kenya. They unarbitrarily, they actually kidnapped Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Unarbitrarily, they did not try him under the law of extradition process. They did not try him. They did not allow him to have somebody speak on his behalf. They did not allow him to stand trial in Kenya. They did not allow him. Whatever they did unarbitrarily, that they actually renditioned him extraordinarily to Nigeria unarbitrarily. They tried him, they kept him in a solitary confinement in a communicado for days unarbitrarily, without even informing the legal team, his legal team or legal, practitioners. All these things are done unarbitrarily. Now you ask yourself, is that not a violation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's right? No one shall be held guilty of any penal offense on the account of any act or omission which did not constitute a penal offense under national or international law at the time when it was committed, nor shall a heavier or shall heavier So now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and all IPOB that has been protesting, or that is, when you are presumed to be an IPOB member, you will be picked up by the law enforcers, by the security operatives in Nigeria. They will not present you to the tribunal. They will not present you to any institution to try your fate. They will not even if eventually, if you don't have anybody, they will leave you there to die in the holding cell. Because Nigeria police is a law court. Nigeria police can try a person. Nigeria police can sentence a person to death. Nigeria military, they can try and sentence a person to death. That is the reason why Hope Uzodimma has the right to come out as a governor of a state who is supposed to make sure that the law and order is maintained. He come to say military should start shooting at sight for the sake of somebody who died in Idato, who was killed by his political thugs, and he declared shoot at sight by the military. Is that not a violation of international law and Declaration of United Nations on Human Rights? Is that not violation of it? Or does it mean that there are some countries that their violation matters and there is other countries that their violation does not matter? That is exactly what we are, getting to understand, because we have been violated every day of our lives. We are being violated, being killed, being subjugated, being subjected to arbitrarily, detention. All those things, they have meted on us. Yet, okay, now, no one shall be subjected to arbitrary interference with his privacy, family home, or correspondence, nor to attack upon his honor and reputation. Everyone has the right to the protection of the law against such interference or attacks. This is Alfaruq Ibek. He said, no one shall be subjected to arbitrary interference with his privacy, family home, or correspondence, nor to attacks upon his honor and reputation. Everyone has the right to the protection of the law against such interference or attackers. Now you will understand. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's home was invaded by Nigeria. His father was a traditional ruler. Unarbitrarily, because it has no case that warrants that to happen. It is all done unarbitrarily, subjected to arbitrary interference. Now you will now tell yourself, they invaded his house Not only just interfering, they wanted to kill him, kill every of his family members. And at the end of the day, the law protected those perpetrators. Law protected these perpetrators. Have you now seen in international the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Nigeria has violated all these rights against IPOB, against the indigenous people of Nigeria. The government of the day has violated it from number 1 article to number 12 article. They have violated it all. Now let's go to number 13. Everyone has the right to freedom of movement and residence within the borders of each state. Everyone has the right to leave any country, including his own, and to return to his country. Now, this is now where I am going to actually stretch it and explain it further. Everyone has the right to freedom of movement and residence within the borders of each state. Now, everyone does have the right. You can travel to the north. If Nigeria was one, you can travel to the north without being prejudiced, without anybody harassing you. But if you are traveling to the north to go and do act of terrorism, to go and kill people, or to go and do something illegal in the northern part of Nigeria or any other place across the world, you are actually not, this right does not protect you. The reason why I am saying this, because so many of you may say, we always talk about Fulani, because Fulani comes into our land. What are they coming there to do? Fulani come into our land in the name of open grazing. Fulani will use their cattle to cause accident on the road. Fulani will use their cattle to destroy people's farmland. Fulani will use in the name of cattle movement to rape innocent women and old people. Fulani will use in the name of cattle grazing to kill people, behead them, and actually mutilate their body parts. Fulani have done all sort of evil, heinous crime in our land in the name of open grazing. So this law does not protect such individual. Now let's go to the north. The northern Nigeria does not allow Igbo people to sell alcohol. Northern Nigeria, you don't have that freedom to do businesses that you know that you can do in every other part of Nigeria as a multicultural society. Because when you look at it, Nigeria is a multicultural society. It is not a monocultural society. It is not actually subjected to a particular culture. So since it is a multicultural society, anywhere you are, you can sell anything that is, not, against the law, such as alcohol selling. It is not against the law of Nigeria for people to be alcohol seller. But can our people sell alcohol freely in the north? The answer is no. Yet we call ourselves one Nigeria in a multicultural society, and we continue to tell ourselves our diversity is our strength. Is that not an irony? Have you now seen the reason why multicultural society will never work and have never worked for anybody? And the multicultural society will always continue to violate the Article 13 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights because of their multiculturalness. Because of their multiculturalism. You are territorial, yet you are multicultural gazetted society. But some people are territorial. You cannot sell alcohol in our place. But we can bring cow and use them to rape your women. We can bring cow and use them to destroy your farmland. We can bring cattle and use them to intimidate people, cause accident on your road, obstruct the road. In a multicultural society, have you now seen the reason why it is said that the multiculturalism has never worked for even in the Western world? There is no country in the West that is multicultural. That is the reason why you see Turkey today, they are no longer multicultural. Turkey fought tooth and nail to to remove themselves from multicultural society. Today, Turkey is a monocultural society. That is the reason why it is declared as Islamic State. Because they have tried multiculturalism, it never worked for them. Today, they are monoculturalism. It is working for them. Because you will not use your own to come and obstruct my own. That is as a result of it. So any country that is practicing multiculturalism, the Article 13 of Universal Declaration of Human Rights will be violated at all times. Everyone has the right to freedom of movement and residence within the borders of each state. Everyone has the right to leave any country, including his own, and to return to his country. Now, because if you want to extend it to borders outside Nigeria, if you are going to a particular country, if you are going to Turkey, you already have in mind that you cannot sell alcohol there because it is a monocultural society. If you are going to USA, you already have in mind you can sell alcohol because it is it is a Christian society, and it is actually a monocultural society, but it actually allow alcohol sale and distribution. Have you now seen it? But now in a Nigeria where you practice multiculturalism, now you will not know what to do in any state you go, because it is presumed that we are one Nigeria. Whatever you go to the state to do, as long as it is not illegal, it is allowed. But is all of these things allowed in Nigeria? Are people free in Nigeria to do what they want? Now let us continue. Let us run. Article 13. Everyone has the right to seek and to enjoy in other countries asylum from persecution. This right may not be invoked in the case of prosecution genuinely arising from non-political crimes or from acts contrary to the purposes and the principles of the United Nations. That's when if you violate the right of your asylum wherever you are domiciled or wherever you seek refuge. That is what it's talking about. The reason why I am reading this for Biafrans all over the world, for you to understand your right in every nation that you are domiciled as an asylum seeker, or your right of movement, your right of freedom of expression, for you not to be intimidated by anybody or any institution when you are preaching for the freedom and the restoration of Biafra. That is the reason why I am taking it one article at a time. So it is going to take a little time, but we are going to finish it if need be. Now let us go to Article 15. Article 15, I will say section 1 of it. Everyone has the right to a nationality. No one shall, section 2 says, no one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his nationality nor denied the right to change his nationality. Yeah, you can change your nationality wherever you are, and this is actually, you can actually, like I said, let me extend it. If you can disown your country today, that's what it's saying. You can disown your country. You can wake up in Nigeria and say, I am no longer a Nigerian, I am a Biafran. That is it. That is it. It is part of self-determination. You can wake up and say that you don't want to be Nigeria anymore. You want to be American. You can wake up in the morning to say you don't want to be Nigerian anymore. I am qualified to have a passport from Botswana, a passport from Malawi, a passport from Ghana, a passport from Cameroon, a passport from Senegal. You can wake up in the morning and disown your country of origin. Let us continue. So, okay, let me read this. I don't know. Let me read this one. Let me do this before I go to read it. Okay, we're going to Article 16. We are going to Article 16. Article 16 said, everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This right includes freedom to change his religion or belief, and freedom either alone or in community with others, and in public or private, to manifest his religion or belief in teachings, practice, worship, and observance. That is the only people who understood that are the Muslims. That is the reason why you are complaining in Nigeria. They will come into the bank, they will start obstructing you. But you as a Christian, the irony there is that you as a Christian will not be able to do it. Even though it is a multicultural society, you will not come to the bank and obstruct people in the name Nena Bisinan. It is not possible. But they have the right to do it because they believe that Nigeria is not multicultural, it is monocultural, that is rooted in Islamic religion. That is the reason why they want to destroy that multiculturalism by declaring Islamic State in Nigeria, and you are bound to actually, live by it and abide by the law of Islamic State. That is the plan. Because even them, they know that it will not work. Multiculturalism does not work. Because you, as a Christian, you have a very, very little amount of right to exercise your Christianity or whatever. Or as a pagan, people will intimidate you, tell you you are a pagan, even though you have the right to religion. Now, let us go to Article 19. Everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference, and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media and regardless of frontiers. Have you now seen the reason why we always say to Facebook, what we are discharging here, it is our right of freedom of expression, our right to freedom of speech. Now you are depriving us of our right of freedom of speech. It says to any media, which is regardless of any frontiers. Now in this regard, I am telling Facebook that you are violating the right of Biafrans, the right of IPOB in expressing the freedom of speech, that they possess the right to do so. That is the reason why you are suppressing us, because the mainstream media they were using deprived us of all this right. And we believe that we have seen social media. Now social media is now actually doing it systematically. People will believe today we will come online, we will have many views. Tomorrow we will come online depending on what we are talking about. Even if you don't like people talking about politics, politics is what makes the world go round. We need to impact our opinion. We need to teach people about this politics. We need to impact people with the knowledge in order to actually know the type of politics that they are facing in their various nations and know the type of manipulation, exploitation that they are facing through this same politics. It is called the freedom of expression, freedom of speech. That we are what we are exercising, and you are violating our right. Everyone has the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association. No one may be compelled to belong to any association. Have you now seen? Everyone has a freedom of, a right to freedom of peaceful assembly. Have you now seen? Protesting in Nigeria, it is your right. If you assemble, as long as you are a peaceful, it is done in a peaceful movement or in a peaceful manner, it is your right. Now people were protesting with flag. Nigeria police, Nigeria SSS, Nigeria military, they fire at them, they kill them. Violation of Article 20 of Universal Human Rights Declaration. That is the violation of the Article 20. The killing of Biafra using flag to protest. Violation of Article 20, Section 1 in Universal Declaration of Human Rights. They have violated it. Let's go to Article 21. Article 21 have so many sections. 23 is the one. Article 21 stated, everyone has the right to take part in government of his country, directly or through freely choosing representatives. Everyone has the Section 2 said it has the right to equal access to public service in his country. It has the right to equal access to public service in his country. Okay. The will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. Section 3 of Article 21. The will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. Are you paying attention? The will of the people shall be expressed. Okay, no, I think I jumped it. Let's go to the Section 3. The will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. This will shall be expressed in periodic and genuine election, which shall be by universal and equal suffrage, and shall be held by secret vote or by equivalent free voting procedures. Now, this also extends that power belongs to the people and power is given by the people. If the people, the will of the people, which is the will of the people, has called for Nigeria to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which is held in a solitary confinement illegally, arbitrarily. Now the will of the people is for Nigeria to release, for the executive to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which the judiciary has already freed. But arbitrarily they continue to detain him. Now you have seen that your will actually matters. That's why you have to take onto the street to call for the release of Ohamadike. Your will, the will of the people, must matter The will of the people. That is exactly what you must know. So section 3 said, the will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. The basis of the authority of government. So the basis of the authority of government is the will of the people. So when the people speak, the government should consider it. The government must listen, because it is people that you applied to come and vote for you. You apply, you submitted that, curriculum vitae, and people actually assign you to the position of representatives. So their will, they are the boss of any leadership. So they call for the leadership to actually to do something that is going to help the mass majority of the nation to thrive. So the will of the people supposed to be the doings or the makings of the society, of the leaders. So let us go. Everyone as a member of society has the right to social security and entitled to realization through a national effort and international cooperation. Just one moment. So, let me see this quickly, because I don't think I am going to. Everyone has the right to standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and his family, including food, clothing, housing, and medical care, and necessary social services. Now, this right of 25 article, section 1 was deprived. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was deprived of this right. Even though the lawyers made available the amount of 1 million naira, since the DSS have declared that they do not have the capacity to look after Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which they are held illegally. The money was made available for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's adequate right to a standard living. To gain a standard living. To make sure that medical care and necessary social services are rendered to him. Even though his right of security has been taken away, which is the reason why they are poisoning him slowly, without answering or being accounting to anybody, as per all the claims that has been made, which means it is not a claim. Because there is a claimant, there is no other party who is actually there to actually fight the claim or to oppose the claim. So there is only a claimant. There is no body that is challenging the claim. So it simply means that is the truth. Let us continue. Okay, the last one. Nothing in this declaration may be interpreted as implying for any state, group, or person any right to engage in every activities or perform any act aimed at the destruction of any of the rights and freedom set forth herein. Or implying, not improving, implying. So this is where we are going to be leaving behind this declaration, because okay, now let me read. I didn't read 29 article. Since it's the last article, the second to the last article, let me read 29 article. Everyone has duties to community in which alone the free and the full development of his personality is possible. Okay, that is, by the way, it doesn't concern us. In the exercise of his right and the freedom, everyone shall be subject only to such limitations as determined by law, solely for the purpose of securing due recognition and respect for the right and the freedom of others, and the meeting of the just requirement of morality. Okay, that's why I say that area is another thing. Let me read section 3, which says, this right and freedom may in no case be exercised contrary to the purpose and the principle of the United Nations. Have you seen it? This right and freedoms may in no case be exercised contrary to the purpose and the principles of the United Nations. So, in this regard, whatever that is written here, it is United Nations Declaration to Human Rights. So it must not be exercised differently to the purpose and the principles of the United Nations. So it means that everything that is written here, it is actually the Declaration of United Nations. It must be it must be, it must be put in place. It must be kept, because the principle of the United Nations, when you, in fact, let me put it this way: if you are abiding by this law of human rights, of course, you are not going to go contrary to the purpose and the principles of the United Nations. That is it. And that is where I am going to leave it for now. And we will move into another thing. The reason why I read this and I read it to an end, it is only because I know, and I know very well that so many of our people, they are being intimidated one way or the other, just because where they are not aware of the law that that the international law that protects their rights. That is exactly the reason why I have read this to an end. But now we are going to move into another subtopic that we have, which this topic is the what T.E.R.R.O.R.I.S.T say. After this, we are going down to the protest in Britain. The protest in Britain. Let us now touch on what T.E.R.R.O.R.I.S.T said, because what he said there has a lot of strong claims. He made a lot of claims there. So let me actually look at it and read the article, the news. No. Let me bring in the news. So, it says here that El-Rufai presidential villa inside El-Rufai. Okay, rather, let me. It says El-Rufai presidential villa insider sabotaging Tinubu. Now, I want you to.
So they don't equal with God. That's all their problem. So then when he.
Now, all right. Sorry for that video playing. It says that El-Rufai presidential villa insiders sabotaging Tinubu. Now let's read. They had their candidate, but their candidate didn't win the primary election. They are hiding behind the president's desire to do what he thinks is right. Now, there is a video that was making round on social media. A video, but I will check if I still have that video, because we need to get to the bottom of this claim. A video that stated that Tinubu is not the first choice of Fulani. But let's see. Let us see. Just 1 minute. One moment. Oh. 1 moment. Okay. Tinubu is not the first choice of Fulani. I thought I was going to bring more people into the program, but now we will rebroadcast it another time. So now, let me read what this piece said here. He said, Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has accused some element in Aso-Rock of working against the victory of the APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the forthcoming general elections. In an interview on Channel TV Wednesday morning, El-Rufai claimed there are people trying to get APC to lose the February 25 election. He made it known that they had their candidate in the primary election but didn't win the primaries. And due to that, they are working against Tinubu in the election. I believe there are elements in the villa, which is Aso-Rock, that want us to lose the election because they didn't get their way. Oh God. They had their candidate, but their candidate didn't win the primary election. I think they are still trying to get us to lose the election, and they are hiding behind the president's desire to do what he thinks is right, he alleged. Detailed later. Oh, it just ended there. Detailed later. Let's see if the detail letter is here. All right, the detail is going to come later. But in this regard, the reason why I picked up this news, it is because there was a video that was making round on social media recently. Let me see if I am going to find that video. Let me play it to you. When they, is it an Hausa man or somebody from the north saying that it is not, Tinubu is not the choice of Fulani. And that is the reason why they gave him Muslim ticket. They gave him Muslim ticket in order to make him to reject it so that they will use it against him. Yet Tinubu accepted Muslim ticket because all Tinubu wants is a Milokon. So let us now find out if I will find that video so that we play it.
Southern Nigeria and the Delusion of 2023 Presidency by Peter Omonua. Published January 7, 2023. Sometime in early 2021, news filtered out that Southern Nigeria and the Delusion of 2023 Presidency by Peter Omonua. How do you tell a man whose wife is not only a Christian but a pastor in one of the biggest Christian denominations in the country, that his presidential running mate would be a Muslim when he himself is a Muslim in a secular country like Nigeria?
Not only a Christian,
he knew the game plan, refused to allow it to deter him, and assured them he would run with it. The culmination of such several attempts to dissuade and frustrate him out of the race led to his now viral outburst at Abeokuta Emiloka. As one group was scheming to get Tinubu off the race in APC, another group was stationed in the PDP to ensure one of their own emerges as the flag bearer of that party, in case the recalcitrance of this Emilokan denies them of that party's ticket. The emergence of Peter Obi in the Labour Party was an aftermath of his experience in the PDP. Though he has not disclosed what he encountered on his journey, Obi's body language, despite his taciturn nature, spoke volumes. Does Southern Nigeria really think that a Northerner overseeing the election of Nigeria's presidency will award the winning to a Southerner? Whoever thinks that has obviously not followed the history of leadership races in Nigeria. It is for this general naivety and ignorance that I keep encouraging anyone who cares to get copies of the following books and read Just Before Dawn by Professor Cole Omatoso and The Tale of June 12 by Professor Omo Omorui. Make no mistake, there would be ongoing nocturnal meetings between Atiku, El-Rufai, Gobrashio's presidency, INEC's Mahmoud, and possibly Lamido Sanusi. There would be ongoing scheming on how to retain power in the hands of the Fulani. How does Tinubu think an El-Rufai will support him over Atiku? Has he forgotten that Atiku is not only El-Rufai's brother, but his benefactor, who more or less made El-Rufai? Some of us are genuinely frustrated by the outright stupidity and gullibility of Southerners. When I see the sort of discussions going on some social media pages, I can't help but imagine how truly clueless most Southerners are about the true state of the Nigerian project. The Fulani does not want the power shift to the south.
Pay very good attention.
Here it again, the North will do anything to frustrate a power shift to the south. They do not care about any party. They want to see that it is transferred to another Fulani, not even to a Hausa or a Kanuri. It was for that reason Peter Obi was frustrated out of the PDP. It was for the same reason Tinubu was saddled with the baggage of a Muslim/Muslim ticket. The backlash was anticipated and they had calculated it would be a suicidal mission for him. The popularity and blossom of the Labour Party under Peter Obi was never in their calculation. What the North has succeeded in doing is dragging Yoruba and Igbo out into an election cycle, sidestepping the making of a new constitution that should have preceded any elections. They need the overwhelming participation of the Yoruba and the Igbos, the two other majority by which they can then give a semblance of fair representation in the process. They would then be able to say to the international community, see, it was a widely and keenly contested election, may even get to a runoff. At the end, one person won, and that person happens to be a Fulani man. If that happens, now what? How can the Southern leadership live with the reality of a back-to-back Fulani rulership of Nigeria given the experience of the South and the Middle Belt in the hands of the Fulani over the last 7+ years? Are we not thereby helping to promote a Fulani to complete what Buhari started, i.e., the domination and enslavement of the country by the Fulani? And to think that the chief promoters of a back-to-back Fulani headship of the country are mostly Southerners is mind-boggling. It is unconscionable, unbelievably shocking to see some Southerners actually drumming support for an Atiku Abubakar presidency. So, Deli Momodu, Rino Omokri, the Obasikis, Dino Melai, the Yoruba Okon from Kogi, and most disappointingly, Ifani Okawa, a supposed frontliner of the Southern Governors Forum, would face their constituencies and be proud to inform them they are part of an agenda to use one Fulani to replace another Fulani. Unbelievable. What would these Southerners tell their future generations about their roles in the vanquish of the South, political expediency? Do people not have shame? Do they not think of posterity and what history will write about them? Afonja and its betrayal, which gave birth to an Ilorin emirate over a century ago, is still in our political discourse and will continue to be. Is that how these people want to be remembered? I must appreciate Governor Wike and his G5 governors for their tenacity and daring to stand up for what is right. It is not even enough for the G5 governors to insist on AU's resignation. It should be an insistence that Atiku himself, being a Northerner, cannot stand for election to replace another Northerner. Not so them just see us finish. Can you imagine Atiku telling us that because Buhari is in APC, then it should not affect the chances of PDP producing another Northern president? What an infantile puerile argument. Is that how stupid these people think we have all become? So, is he telling us Obasanjo could have handed over to another Yoruba or Igbo person, or that Jonathan could have handed to another Southerner and it will be fine with the North? What shameless effrontery and daylight robbery is that? It amazes me how the South is so gullible to think the North will actually organize a free and fair election, then hand over power if the winner is from the South. Has that ever happened? When has a Northern president or head of state ever handed power to a Southern successor? The transition of power has always been from a Southern leader to a Northern leader, i.e., Obasanjo to Shagari, Obasanjo to Yadua, and Jonathan to Buhari. The Sultan will not even allow it, not to talk of now that they have a dog in the fight and are the referee at the same time. For them, Kaka Kiekumo JCC, Efa Shia Wada Danu and I, meaning, if I can't have it, nobody will have it, so let us scatter it. Do people even realize the resistance from the highest level of the Northern power bloc against handing over to Abiola? People just think it was IBB that was power drunk and wanted to cling to power. Forces much stronger than IBB were at play at that time, and those powers are still there. They have an uncanny fear of losing power. They also have a deep fear of Igbo-Yoruba coalescence, the reason the current rivalry between obedience and Batified is a game for them. They do not want any of these two tribes to lead Nigeria, neither do they want a coalition of the two. If all attempts to replace one Fulani with another Fulani fail through the ballot, they are ready to have their military boys roll out the tanks and take over with the barrels of the gun. The populace and the international community will call it a military takeover, but it is essentially an elongation of Fulani rule. Most Southerners do not understand the desperation of the people they are dealing with. They would kill anyone standing on their path to perpetuate their rulership. It has already started. Some seemingly inexplicable demises have explanations. Unfortunately, they have succeeded, yet again, in dividing the South along ethnic and religious lines. You would think that lessons have been learned, but no. They are playing us against each other, and to reference Fela, that is, their regular trademark. It would be a total disgrace to the entire South if they allow Fulani to get away with this deception. My fear is that we are once again heading to the path of Azekai and Awolowo in the First Republic. Those who don't learn from history are bound to repeat it. We were told one of the two refused to step down for the other, which enabled the Fulani to capitalize on their disunity. Each had a personal ambition to lead and none wanted to subordinate to the other. The Igbo and the Yoruba narrate it such that each vindicates his own tribe. Some of us were not old enough to know which version to believe, but at least we are witness to this current one. That is why we are writing about it now, so posterity will know exactly what happened. This should have been a time for the two tribes to unite against their common adversary. It should be a time when they present a common and unified front.
So that you will understand and digest what you have read. Let me reflect on the news that prompted me to bring back this audio. He said Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has accused some element in Aso-Rock of working against the victory of APC presidential candidate Asuwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the forthcoming general election. In an interview on Channels TV Wednesday morning, El-Rufai claimed there are people trying to get APC to lose February 25 presidential election. He made it known that they had their candidate in the primary election but didn't win in primaries, and due to that, they are working against Tinubu in the election. That is where he tried to confuse the narrative. That is where El-Rufai tried to confuse the narratives. But the most important thing you see is that they are actually, Tinubu is not actually what they want. Just like this voice you heard said. That is why El-Rufai say presidential villa insiders sabotaging Tinubu. Because since their guy in primary, according to what he used to sabotage the narrative, lost, they have to turn to another Fulani, Atiku Abubakar. Whether it's Cameroon or Fulani, they have to turn to him. That is the reason why we are calling Ohaneze Ndigbo. Tell us who gave out that $1 million. Who gave out that $1 million to the agent provocateur? It is very, very important. If you do that calling, it will help you. If you do that calling, who gave out that money? So that we will understand who is sabotaging Ndigbo. Who is sabotaging IPOB and Biafra struggle? Who is sabotaging it? Then while we understand it, we will now bring that exposition. Without you telling us who are those sponsoring the criminalities in our land, who are those sponsoring the killings in our land, because you might not want to say it because you know they are doing it to make people to lose faith in Biafra struggle. You might be doing it because you might not want to say it because, but whether you say it or you don't say it, we don't stand to lose or gain anything. We stand to win. But the better for you to say it so that we will know who is killing our people. We care about our people. We don't care about your rubbish politics because your people are just time wasters. We care for our people who are dying on a daily basis. We want to secure them. We want to protect them. We want to make sure that they stop dying. And that is very, very important, that you expose that person, whether it is Atiku or Tinubu. I am now giving you option. I am giving you option. I did not give you this option before, but I am giving you this option right now. Which of them? Whether they did it through Kwankwaso or through whoever, which of them did it? You have your network. And I know that you can. If you have the willingness to do so, you have that will to do so. That is one thing. Because if you do it, it will help all of us to protect the land of Biafra. Now, another thing is that, of course, like I always tell you people, that the agent provocateur, now what can he name? It is not a joke. What can he name? But only those who understand riddles will understand now what can he name. I am speaking in riddles. I am not going to give you a breakdown to that. But what can he name? In his next life, I am actually doing everything I am doing. I want to bring him out once more. Because he is hiding. He is running. Because I know his ego. I am calling him out to the next, once more. Because what he started, he will finish it or that thing will finish him. You cannot kill holy people and go scot-free. You cannot kill a pregnant woman and go scot-free. You will face the penal code. You will face the penalty. He who died killed by sword must surely die by sword. I don't want to explain what is happening to you, but those of them who are actually trying to cover up, act as if nothing is happening. We know all of you. We follow you both in spirit and physical. We follow all of you. But Abacha also, I gotta go mile. That is where I am going to leave it for now. Now let me go to the protest in UK. The protest in Britain, I must say. Where is that? Let me find out where is this my post. Don't let Facebook kick you out. If they kick you out, bring yourself back up. Bring yourself back up when they kick you out. Now, while I am looking for the protest in the UK, I want you to know, have you seen the news of Buhari being attacked in Kano State? Of course, some of them, remember when the explosion killed people in school? Somebody came and told you that nobody died. I hope you remember when the explosion killed somebody in school in the north. They came to tell you nobody died. And if I am not mistaken, the same man has come again to say that there was no attack on Buhari. If he said there was no attack on Buhari, what broke the windscreen of the chopper of Buhari in Kano State, where he claimed he went to, whichever, because these people, they have found out that the man there is not Buhari. They are doing everything they can possible to make sure that they got him down, because he is actually, he is committing a crime which is placing all their lives in jeopardy, because so many of our people believe that, this administration is actually not doing anything, without knowing that this administration, the leader of the administration died in 2017 because Nigeria is 200 and something million people who cannot reason, who cannot investigate, who cannot look for clarity, who cannot hold their leaders to account. That is 200 million people that I might be calling cowards. Not all of them though. But so many of you are cowards, especially those of you in power, in positions of power. A serious cowards that you cannot stand to ask questions as per what is going on in your country. That is the reason why in this article you see Buhari's, his convoy was attacked, his chopper was stoned, and they broke the windscreen. Let me actually bring the video. Look at it. People claim, a liar from the north, the pathetic liar from the north, who claimed that there was no person who died in the explosion in the north in the school during that early last year, is the one. I believe is the one. I am not sure, but there is a man that looks like him who came to say president was not attacked in Kano. The same president was attacked in Katsina. He is being attacked everywhere he goes because they have discovered that this can never be Buhari. Buhari who protect Boko Haram. Buhari who protect Fulani herdsmen. Buhari who protect terrorists. How can he not protect his own people in the north? Have you now seen that ever prior to 2017, when Buhari died, the attacks on the northern communities escalated? So, that is as a result, that's why the youth are aggravated. They are so angry. They are so angry that, they want to capture this man with their bare hands and feed him to the dogs. That's what they wanted to do. Now you will now bear me witness that all these things these people did against this one who is the president, they did it. Let me bring the video. They did all these attacks against the president. Let me remove I just removed the volume so that I will continue talking. Look at the amount of stones on the street. They did all this against the president. Nobody was shot at. No casualty was reported. But when IPOB protests with flag, they will be killed. When Lekki Tollgate, people block Lekki Tollgate and say, they must end SARS. People were shot at like animals because they know that SARS only operates in the south. There was no northern person that was joining that protest because SARS was not operating in the north. It was not killing the northern people. It was not killing Fulani or Hausa. It was only killing Yorubas and Igbos. That is the reason, Yorubas and Oduduwas and Biafra. Let me extend it. Oduduwas and Biafra. That was the reason why everybody from the south gathered together, and the government and Cathriona land, they have discovered that it is these same people that are marginalized, that are gathered together to end the SARS. If you look through the history of SARS, SARS was trained by the Britain. Now, they have gathered together to end these things, so they will not end it without a fight. Therefore, let us teach them a lesson that nobody will summon courage ever again to come out in the street of Nigeria to protest. That is the reason why they deployed the military. They actually come to the Lekki toll gate. They started shooting people like an animal. And they killed and they took the bodies of these people and they went and dumped it. And they claim, and when Lai Mohammed, as a pathetic liar he is, he said nobody died. He said the military never, shot anybody. But the evidence was there, plain to the world, for them to see. People were shot like an animal. But these guys in the north, people of Buhari in the north, attacking the imposter because they have discovered that this is indeed an imposter. Because if it was Buhari, he protect us. This man does not protect us. And they have, under Garba Shehu watch, they have instructed the media to underreport every activities of the terrorists in the north. That even in the terrorist index, on the report in the terrorist index, which is making claim that there is a decline in the number of the victims of terrorism in Nigeria. They actually say that the decline was up to 90-something% in the number of people who are dying on a daily basis as a result of terrorist attacks. But that is a lie. Who gave them the number? Were they on the ground where it is happening to get these numbers of people who are dying? Are they aware that Nigeria media, they are not reporting anything? They are not objective in their reportage. Are they aware that Nigeria media, they do not do investigation, they just report whatever that is handed over to them to go and report? That's what they do. As a result of that, they are underreporting it, and they are picking those reports as a statistics to go and put in the index, or to go and put the number of victims that have died of terrorism in Nigeria. Or maybe they are deliberately reporting those things so that the world will not pay attention to the blood that is being wasted in Nigeria every day, because the West is actually profiting each and every day that the insecurity is engulfing Nigeria. The West is profiting. Britain, to be precise. You see this? These are the people who attacked the chopper of the president. After the attack on the chopper of the president, look at the chopper here. Look at it. They claimed it never happened. It never happened because You are living in a country that is a lie, a country that has never told the truth in their life. Nigeria has never spoken to the truth to power. Nigeria has never told the truth about anything. And you want me to support Ukraine? How can I support Ukraine when nobody is supporting my people dying every day on a daily basis in the hands of those they claim they voted into power, and you want us to support somebody else? Is it not even in the Bible it says that remove the wood, piece of wood in your eyes before you go and remove the piece of wood in another man's eyes? Any African leaders who is standing in solidarity with Ukraine because America or Europe are calling you or compelling you to stand in solidarity with Ukraine, you are a coward. Because the reason why I say you are a coward, it is because your country is burning. People are dying on a daily basis. Congo, people are dying on a daily basis because of the blessings God gave to them. Nobody has ever called anyone to support the people in Congo. In Mozambique, people are dying on a daily basis as a result of terrorist invasion. Somebody is the one sponsoring this terrorism. They claim they know everything. They know when terrorist attacks in Africa. Why can't they single out those sponsoring this terrorism and now call the world to support Mozambique for terrorist activities going on, or support the indigenous people in Nigeria for the sake of terrorist activities going on, or to support countries like South Sudan that are dying of hunger and starvation, to support countries like Niger Republic dying of hunger and starvation, to support all these countries in Africa? They have never called you to support your own. They are calling you to support Ukraine, which they lured into war with Russia. Is that not an irony? That is the reason why I say any African leader who is compelled to support Ukraine, instead of doing something that is actually good for the benefit of their country, just like the great South Africa is doing. When I watch that news coming out from South Africa, I said to myself, it gives me hope. It gives me hope of a great Africa to come. That's all I can say. It gives me hope that there are still people who understand their right. You cannot compel them to do what you want them to do. You cannot continue to set the bars and expect Africa to follow it. You write the narrative, you push it out, expect them to follow it blindly without actually asking them, what do you want? No. The most important thing we need to understand here, we are in a 21st century. We have freedom to opinion. We have freedom to support anybody we want to support. Nobody had ever supported us. But when it concerned the Western world, they compel us to support them. Why? Why are we living as if we don't have, we don't have a decision of our own? Or is it because your political leaders, they don't have that political will to actually look after the nation? They will now go and support other people being killed for their political profit. They will now go and support Ukraine, the comedian in Ukraine, who go and engage himself with Russia, knowing that he cannot wage war with Russia. Even if he was compelled to do that war, he is doing the bidding of those who compelled him. How long are they going to stand to help you? It is the choice of this man to accept, the violation of a Russian border. I don't support that. Whatever that the shenanigan that is going on in the Eastern Europe, but when it comes to speaking the truth, we speak the truth the way it is, unadulterated. Because the West has been actually screwing Africa. The West has been screwing us. They have been giving us middle fingers. They have been setting a narrative and compelling us to run with it. We have never made a choice that will help us, that will benefit us in any shape or form. But we continue to support them blindly without actually looking forward to see who is indeed the problem here. They use their mainstream media to push a narrative that Africa must follow. Like I said, any African leader that is blindly supporting Ukraine without benefiting anything from their support, you are a coward, a big coward. That is what you are, a big coward. We need to die of something great. If because you cannot support Ukraine, because you cannot gain anything from their support, from supporting them, or you have a bigger challenges in your country that people need to support you, or people are calling you to leave that challenge you have to support others, and you are doing it, you are an idiot. That's the way it is. Every African country, they have challenges that is worse than Ukraine challenges. Believe you me. A big challenges that is worse than Ukraine challenges. Because whatever that is happening in Ukraine is the choice they made. They have the power to stop that war. It is like somebody coming to compel, Biafra and Amazonia to go into war, or somebody come to cause a war between Congo and what is this Kagame's country? Congo and Kagame's country. Somebody coming to cause a war there, and you want me to support one person. Why do you allow them to enter you first? I will not support any of you. Go and sort your problems out, because you never supported me. The only reason why I will say I will place my support to any of you is because you are Africa, we are Africa. Because if you allow yourself to actually dance to the tone of the enemy, and you go into war with your brother, and you expect me, or you come, because the Western excesses in your place, you as a leader, you now go into war with another man, that is your brother, that is your neighbor, there in this African continent or countries. And at the end of the day, you will come up to ask for someone to support you and neglect the other. No one will support you and neglect the other. We need to know who is the aggressor. We call that person in order. We need to know what triggered the person to be aggressor. We call it in order. That is vice versa. It works both ways. It cannot be dependent on one side. We are live and direct. It is 15 minutes before the top of the hour, regardless of where you are. It is 15 minutes before 3 o'clock in the land of Elohim, where there is a 0 latitude and 0 longitude. You are watching on Judge Money Blog, social media platforms, on YouTube at Judge Money Blog Africa. Those watching there, don't forget to subscribe to those YouTube channels. Click the like button for the algorithm to continue to do the sharing. If you're watching on the Twitter, retweet this video and like the video as well. On Facebook, continue to share the video and follow the page. We will continue. We must continue. So let us go to the protest in UK. Where is that? Let me remove this. No. Looks like I have removed Okay. If you look at this, the photo next to El-Rufai. Look at the photo next to El-Rufai. You will find out, you will discover that in that picture it says, profit drive inflation. Profit drives inflation, not wages. Now all of them are suffering. Britain is suffering inflation. Likewise, Africa is suffering inflation. The whole world is suffering inflation because of the politics that the people who believe they can preside over what will happen to the world, the decision they have made by setting up war in Ukraine. Now, everybody is feeling the heat because anything goes around comes around. That is most important thing. Every wise person that need to understand what goes around comes around. Let me see if I can get the piece what is happening in the UK in that protest, because I know that protest is rooted on the hunger, it is rooted on the hardship that is people are facing in Britain. Hardship people are facing in Britain because Britain make a choice and they are actually living by it. This is what you see, a protest happening in Britain. This protest that you see happening in Britain, it is a protest in the last decades. This protest is about economy. This is the economy that you have been facing, economic challenges and exploitation you have been facing in the last 1 century in African countries. Only because of this 8 months war or 1 year war in Ukraine, this Western world, they started facing small things. They have not even reached, experienced, the atom of what you have experienced in Africa, the atom of what you have experienced in Caribbean, the atom of what you have experienced in South America, the atom of what you have experienced in across the world where black people, even in Australia, where they are domiciled, they have never experienced the atom of what you have experienced, or even 1% of what you have experienced, they have taken onto the street. Have you now seen that these are the people who have what it takes to speak to power, to speak truth to power, to challenge, exercising their democratic power? They are the people. But when it comes to our own people, they will keep quiet. They will not know what to do to actually save themselves from the mess which they will eventually find themselves. These people are trying to do it while it is still early. They know how to make a hand while the sun is still shining. It is not like people that are in Nigeria, that are in Africa, that you are told or you were advised, or there was a claim, as I play a devil advocate while at it, that your leader, the leader you voted in 2015, that he passed away. And not only that he passed away, they brought in somebody to actually impersonate him, gave him a mask to wear to impersonate him. Yet, you remain silent. You did not question. You did not protest. Let this man go for DNA so that we will understand the claim of these people. Let us find out whether these people are willing or actually sabotaging this, man for no reason. Let us find out, for the sake of our sovereign nation, if it is sovereign. Let us find out. Nobody did that. A man is wearing a mask, ruling over you. A tyrant is wearing a mask. When a tyrant, Garba Shehu control him, he controls, from there, he now controls you. This is as a result of your weakness. But have you seen it? Only inflation rate, only inflation that they are fighting in Britain. Now, people are complaining. Let me find out what is the food inflation rate in Britain. Let me find out the food inflation rate in Britain, so that we will find out, we will compare it with the one you are comfortable with in Nigeria. Now, where is it? %11.1%. Is it? Let me check very well. They say 11.1%. Let me remove the cost of living. The inflation rate in Britain is 10.5%. 10.5%. Oh. But when you compare this inflation rate to the, I don't know, okay, let me check the date where this was released. December of 2022. December of 2022. November matching market forecast. It market second consecutive month slowing inflation and low. Okay. 3 months after peak of 11%. No, it is 10.5%. The inflation rate in Britain. Inflation rate in Britain, 10.5%. Now, what is the inflation rate in Nigeria? Let's find out. The cost of living in Nigeria. So that we will compare people. The inflation rate in Nigeria is 21.34%. Now, why? It is double of what people are protesting for in Britain. How many of you have protested for the cost of living in Nigeria? The answer is 0. How many of you have protested for the scarcity of petrol in Nigeria? Even though you are the African giant, what do you call it? Oil production, or you are the giant of Africa in oil production. Your petrol is scarce. You cannot even find a petrol in a petrol station to buy. If you find in a black market, you pay like 400-500 per liter. Per liter. How many people have taken onto the street? Because you are scared they might shoot you. But now in Britain, let me read the news coming out of Britain. Let me read the news coming out of Britain. Britain hit by a bigger strike in more than a decade, with schools shut down and the rail networks disrupted. This is a serious one. Schools shut down, rail network disrupted. I don't know what Facebook is up to. Rail network disrupted. More than 500,000 British workers are due to take strike action through Wednesday, with unions across a range of sectors in industry dispute over pay and working conditions. Did you see that? Of course, you don't know what is union in Nigeria. You don't know what is union in Nigeria, or will I call it unionism? You don't know it in Nigeria. When workers will have their own union in order to challenge every activities of whoever employee or whatever excesses or violation from coming from the government or the employee. You don't have it. You don't know it as well. So they said that the union said that they have experienced at least a 23% real terms pay cut since 2010. Teachers across 2 unions in Scotland, around 100,000 civil servants across more than 100 departments, including driving instructors, coast guards, and the department workers and pension staffs. 70,000 university workers, including lecturers and security staff, and roughly 100,000 trained drivers. Such widespread strike action has not taken place since a dispute over public sector pay in 2011. These are people who have employment, but they know what it means to speak truth to power. They know what it means to discharge or to exercise their freedom of expression. They know what it means to actually, rally in order to demand from their government what is rightfully theirs. Do you know what it means in Africa or in Nigeria? The answer is no, because you are being led by tyrants, group of tyrants that has never made any decision that will work in your favor. Now, let me continue reading what is coming out of Britain. Now he says, tens of thousands of schools will be closed or partially closed. Travel and other services will be disrupted, while workers will set up hundreds of picket lines and hold rallies. Picket lines and hold rallies. Demand vary by union, but include inflation-beating pay rises, including to redress historic real-term pay falls, pension reform, and no cut in the redundancy. No cut in the redundancy terms. The new NEU says teaching is in crisis as staff are driven from the professions and is calling for an above inflation pay rise. Okay. Now, when you understand this, remember that in every country where inflation is actually any country that is affected by inflation, just like Nigeria, the inflation rate is on the 21 point something mark. Now, you are not complaining because your salary that they are paying you a salary of, maybe let's say they are paying you a salary of 50,000. Since 2000 and let's play a devil advocate, since 2022 or 2021, they are paying you a salary of 50,000. And now, that time when you took up that salary of 50,000, the value of one loaf of bread was 100 naira. And you accepted the salary of 50,000 because you can still buy bread, buy milk, buy some butter. The value of butter was 50 naira. The value of milk was perhaps 100 naira. Pig milk, milalehi, that is coming from, where is this? Wherever it's coming from. The value of them cost you such. The value of bag of rice was, during that time, 25,000. That is the reason why you accepted 50,000 payment. Was 25,000. You accepted it. All this you could still buy and pay, put money for your house rent. Now look at it. In 2023 or in 2022, let's say you started 2021, in 2022, the inflation rate comes to the 21 point something percent. In this 21 point something percent, you are still receiving a salary of 50,000. While the value of bread has escalated from 100 naira to now 300 naira. From 300, milk has escalated from 100 to 200. Butter has escalated from 50 to 150. Now, rice itself has escalated to 40-something thousand naira. That means that you buy rice. After buying rice, you are left with 10,000. You buy milk and bread, after which you haven't bought the garnishings for the rice. You are left with less than 9,000. And when you buy the other groceries, you are left with nothing. If it will even afford all these things to garnish the rice, the meat, the other stuff to garnish the rice, you are left with nothing. What are you going to use to pay your rent? Now this brings you to the knowledge of what the Britain are protesting for. It is something that you have been going through in the last 100 years. And you keep telling yourself, we will always find a way to navigate it. In Britain, their inflation rate, their cost of living is on 10.5%. Yet they are crying. Your cost of living is on 21 point something percent. I think 27%. I'm very forgetful because of the stress I am facing every day. Because Nigeria had happened to me. It is something that, so many of you must have noticed that I am very forgetful. Even yet, I'm still a young guy. I'm very forgetful. What caused people to be forgetful? It is as a result of stress. As a result of stress. Because of so many traumatic events that we have seen in the past. Who is there to help us heal? Is it the government of the day that will make you go through trauma, depression? They won't make you heal. You will continue to stress until you become old, even while you are young. My mind is becoming old even while I'm young. That is exactly what we are going through. We haven't complained. We haven't taken to the street. Remember that Britain is been living on your own blood. They are living on your own blood. Even your blood can no longer sustain them anymore. They have taken onto the street. You see, the truth of the matter is, what goes around will always come around. You see, all that you have passed through or you are passing through in that zoological republic called Nigeria, courtesy of Britain and their amalgamation in 1914, 1 century plus ago. And you've been paying for that with your blood. It is going to come to Britain. It is going to return back to them. It takes time to adjust. If anybody tell Britain, or let me be specific with the agent they have as Catriona Land. Catriona Land, if anybody tell you that Britain will be having some explosion early last 2021, bomb explosion in a shopping center, would you believe it? The answer is no. But it is happening in Nigeria every day. You are not reporting them. That the terrorism is taking over Nigeria because you feel safe in maybe Banana Island where you are living. or you feel very safe in a safest environment close to Asoville, where you are living in Abuja, you feel very safe, you cannot report it. Catriona Lang, if somebody tell you today that your people will take onto the street just for the sake of the high cost of living, rise in the inflation or the high cost of living today, will you have believed it? The answer is no, because you people believe that oppressor must continue to be oppressed. We must continue to be oppressing people, while oppressed must continue to be oppressed. They shouldn't wake up. They shouldn't realize. If they realize, kill them. That's what you people are doing to us. When Lekki Tollgate protests for NSAS that is killing millions of people, thousands or hundreds of people on a daily basis, when people protested, Catriona Lang went to visit Tinubu. And after visiting Tinubu, the army chief now deployed army to go and kill people. And the Catriona Lang concealed it from the world. Lai Mohammed lied about it because his name is liar. And nobody died. Today, Britain has taken onto the street. Catriona Lang, why don't you go and tell the army chief to deploy army to go and shoot at your people? Or is it only Nigerian people? Is it only black people that are supposed to be shot at when they are protesting? Because you feed in their blood to nourish your nation. Indirect and direct. Whatever these eyes see, these eyes will see it. If anya anofo, anya anoga fear. That is the law of nature. You will never cheat nature. You can never ever cheat nature. You see what is happening in Britain today? It will always get worse. And I will always come here to remind you that I said it. It will always get worse. The only thing that British people need to tell themselves the truth. All this British exploitation and oppression in African countries, they must desist from that. Because it is said that what goes around will come around. The law of nature, you will never change it. If you keep quiet, it will come to you. If you keep quiet and watch others oppressed, you will not even know when it comes to your doorstep. Is it coming? Yes, it is coming. So many people ask me, why do you speak like this without fear or favor? I said to them, as a child, my childhood was actually traumatized, taken away because of traumatic events. I believe I have seen people die. I have seen traumatic events in front of me all over the place. Why do I need to be scared of somebody killing me? I'm not better off than those people who have given their lives because of the bad governance, because of the tyranny of the government, because of what Nigeria has cost them or done to them. If you kill me, I believe you have done me a favor. For the sake I am speaking the truth. Don't fear anybody if you are here, if you are there to speak the truth. Let them kill you. All you need is to be strategic. But let them kill you. If they kill you, they have done you a biggest favor. Because they will transition you into a paradise. Where you will come, you will not struggle anymore. Because you were speaking the truth. And it is only the truth that will set you free. That is the way it is. So let me continue to read what is happening in Britain. Protests will also be over a bill that was passed in the lower house of parliament on Tuesday, which seeks to enforce minimum service levels in some sector, with some workers able to be fired if they refuse to work when required on strike days. Okay, most unions are holding several days of strike. Some like rail spread across months. Wednesday has been coordinated by the unions as a day of mass walkout to send a message. It follows strikes by National Health Service, ambulance drivers, and nurses who are calling not only for a pay rise, but say labor shortages have made working conditions near impossible. Postal workers have also been on strike, and the firefighters have voted for future strike action. Do you know the reason why these people are taking the bulls by the horn? Because they know if anybody who is pregnant today in Britain, they know. As in ebe a na-adụ onye nwere nnọdụ, onye nwere nnọdụ, onye nwere nne na-anọ n'akụkụ na-amụta. Where they are advising a person who has a parent, a person who does not have an orphan will sit closer to learn the advice coming from that parent. Now let me explain it to you. You see what is happening in Britain? They are taking the bulls by the horn. They do not want these things to escalate. Because if Aruba for Buro Menana, because you know what it means that Aruba for Buro Menana. When your generation that is yet unborn, or when a person is pregnant today in Britain, or when a person gives birth today in Britain, and that child grow up not seeing anybody striking, and seeing a pay cut, and seeing, the hospital infrastructure or the equipment in the hospital actually, degraded or not, being well equipped. That child growing up to see it and not seeing anybody lamenting about it, they will assume that this is a norm and we have to find a way to navigate it in our own way. That has been what happened to our people, because our parents did not, they refused to revolt. They refused to revolt. They were so scared. They didn't want to revolt against the injustices that it was happening to them in Nigeria. If not the parents of ours that actually fought the war in 1967, the ones that come before them, or the generation that comes after them, they refused until Mazen Nnamdi Kanu rose up. Because if they continue to actually revolt against these things, when they have a child, the child will know that this is not a norm. It is something that is being done because there are people who are placed into power without any political will to take charge or to actually do the needful. They will assume it is a norm, because when that child is 1 year old and he lives in this norm, in these things that he sees, everything that he sees around her, and she becomes 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, becomes a norm. It has already been a norm. They are 1 year old, they see electricity coming and going. It becomes a norm. When they are 10 years old, they have become used to it, because they never see anybody fighting or ever seen anybody protesting or revolting against this electricity going off and on in Nigeria, until it became electricity go out for 1 month, 1 week. Total blackout. That's the way it is. Total blackout. Because we don't know how to run for rain until it starts pouring. Okay, let me continue. Let me finalize the reason. Average pay, including bonuses. They want their average pay, including bonuses, to rise by 2.7% in the public sector between August and October, as the inflation rate rose above 10%. That compared with 6.9% pay increase in the private sector, according to the national statistics. While inflation has begun to cool slightly, it remains at a historic high and acute in areas that most impact workers on the lower salaries. Groceries price inflation hit a record of 16.7% in the 4 weeks to January 2022. The Trade Union Congress, Unionism, has described the bill as wrong, unworkable, and almost certainly illegal. On Wednesday's widespread strike action, a government spokesperson told CNBC, ever since these strikes were threatened, the government has been preparing to do all it can to mitigate any disruption caused, and we have extensive contingency plans in place. Of course, the best mitigation would be for union bosses to call off planned strikes, to keep talking, and to continue to come to an arrangement. CNBC report. Okay, that is the end of it. The protest action in Britain. Very soon it will extend to America. It will extend to America, USA. The protest action will go there. Just watch and see. Anya no ga fifa anya no fu. These eyes will see what these eyes have seen, or these eyes have been seeing all this while. It will go around. But I believe I am still coming to actually talk about. There is a video I am supposed to actually talk about.
He said that I told my teacher, word is not the creator, not the creation. That is why not the creation, but not God.
I have to make out time for it, special time, probably on the weekend, if not tomorrow, to talk about that video, to make, educate our people on that video, so that you will know also the things that continue to make you lazy and make you not to understand what you're supposed to do at any given time when you're supposed to do them. Because it has become very, very important that our people continue to learn what they're supposed to do and when they're supposed to do them. Let me see if I will try to bring more people into this program for the sake of these few seconds that is left for us to be here. Let me try to bring in more people to the program. Just like you have seen, we have touched on the United Nations or Universal Declaration on Human Rights, and you have known your right in every place where you are. Those of you who are going to be joining us or joining us right now, I want you to know we have taken this program very far, So if you want to actually, understand where we have started, we have touched on the United Nations, Declaration on Human Rights, and from there you will understand what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is going through, and your right as an individual in Nigeria, as an individual in any countries of the world. If you go through that, if you rewind this video, because you are able to rewind, it will take you back to it. We have touched on how the Fulanis, they are trying to sabotage the upcoming election, that T.E.R.R.O.R.I.S.T has confessed, he confessed, and actually, which prompted me to reflect on the voice that actually somebody made, stating that their plan, and that was what T.E.R.R.O.R.I.S confirmed in his interview recently. So we are almost bringing this program to an end. So if you are joining us right now, share this video and invite others to join. There is very, very important, things that we have actually treated in this video, which if you rewind, you will see them. It will help us, and in that regard, you should continue to promote, we should continue to promote every media publishment of our media publicity secretary, our DOS. We should continue to share those videos, retweet them, because it is very important. Just to fight, because we need to face and fight this terrorist index, IEP, even though it is inconsequential. We need to fight it. We need to show the world, because that is how they want to, the reason why they did what they did, the reason why they did what they did, or trying to reflect us on the terrorist index, it is because that is the reason why they have placed agent provocateur. But the primary reason why they did what they did is because the 2023 election is important to USA. It is important to Britain. That is the reason why they have actually threatening us. This is a threat they are doing. It is not like we are terrorists. They are threatening us in case if we say we don't want the election, which we have never ever issued a statement whether we want the election or whether we don't want the election. Individually, we have given you a reason why Nigeria politics never favored anybody. That's what we've been doing. The agent provocateur, which they have placed in the media space, continue to thwart our activities, continue to sabotage our activities, continue to try to actually indict IPOB in order for IPOB to be destroyed, that they may use their name in order to replace us. So that, because I said to you, the Western world, they do not want Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to lead this movement. It's not like they don't understand what we are going through, but they want somebody that is very, very compromised to lead this movement, so that, or an illiterate, somebody who does not know their left from their right, so that they will easily manipulate them and say, since you want Biafra, take it. Under neo-colonialism. Because so many of them I want to be the one. I want to be the one who did it. That is their problem, without knowing what they are going to do. It is the challenge that we are facing. So, in this regard, we have made it our stand clear. Our leadership never said anything about the election. Does not mean that if need be that we will not say, they will not say, because our leader must be released. Our leader cannot be used as a bait for 2023 election. Our leader cannot be used for a bait for 2023 election. Like Tinubu is saying, not Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar is saying, I will release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally when I win the election. using Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as a political campaign, violation of his right. That is to say that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in arbitrary detention. It is because of people's, thoughts and opinion. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being prejudiced today. That is the reason why he is detained arbitrarily. He is subjected to arbitrary detention. That is exactly what they are doing. They want to use Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for their political biddings. They want to use him for their political campaign. That is the reason why Fulani First Choice is telling you that they are going to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. Are you now understanding the game? Because don't forget, this election is very important to Britain because they want to select a new management to their company called Nigeria. This election is very important to USA because they want to make sure that a new management is selected, the one that will dance to their tone through their economic exploitation in Nigeria. Don't forget that all these oil companies that are in Nigeria, most of them are Americans. And they see today of oil, exploration, and you now saw the report last year that millions of barrels of oil are being stolen under the watch of Shell, under the watch of Texaco, under the watch of all these, oil companies that are managing your oil explorations, and those oil are stolen. They are actually exporting them outside Nigeria. So they want to make sure they place somebody who will be their puppets there, which we don't have a problem. That is their business. As long as they know we want Biafra, that is all we are fighting for. Whether you place whoever you place there, we want Biafra. And whoever that is using Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for political bait, let me speak just like Joe Biden may say, it has consequences. If anything, if they continue to poison our leader in the DSS detention, if Joe Biden was in that position, he would say it has consequences. Because our leader has committed no crime. The court of competent jurisdiction discharged and acquitted him and actually say that nobody can try him in any court in Nigeria. Act of terrorism was meted on him by kidnapping him from Kenya illegally and extraordinary renditioning him to Nigeria. That nobody has the right, no court has the jurisdiction to try him. Yet, they are holding him in arbitrary detention. So, this is where we are going to be living in today. Until we meet again. Share this video. Those watching on YouTube at Judge Money Blog Africa, click the subscription button, like the video. Those watching on Facebook, continue to share the video until we meet again. Stay safe. Stay informed. Bye for now. We have been here for 2 hours now.